Hello everyone, I am Tacet and welcome to the Gems of War Tower of Doom stream, week 23, day 5. So of course we're not actually doing Tower of Doom today, nor are we actually doing Bounty Hunter, gosh. Tower of Doom was finished on what, Wednesday? Bounty Hunter was, at least the battles that we've done so far have been finished already, but yeah, Tower of Doom has been done for a while. It's pure purple. You can easily just run Mang with a purple skull spam with Leprechaun for mana generation back, and ends up working out pretty well. Team I personally ran was Mang, Thralzugoff, Leprechaun. Can replace this with pretty much any skull spammer that fits, and yeah, ends up working out pretty well. Other than that, for Bounty Hunter, oh, I never copy pasted the little thingy, but the bounty team I ended up using was Parrot. Actually, Parrot wasn't in first slot; it was all the way in last. But I ended up using what was in first slot? Because Excavator was there. Oh, it was Werewolf. What we ended up using was Werewolf in first slot. Tigraki as our main damage source in second slot with his ability. Third slot with Excavator. And fourth slot, because it's the bounty captain and we had to use it, was Parrot. And yeah, Parrot was one we already had, so it's actually cheaper. Do be mindful that you likely already have a maxed out Parrot for bounty, or at least very well upgraded. We initially bought into tier 3 and then realized, yeah, that's probably not going to make it, which we kind of already knew. So we ended up going to tier 4. Normally I'd have to go tier 5 plus a blue orb. However, we can go tier 4 with no blue orb, and it looks like we should be able to make it. Obviously, we don't have all of our points yet, but between the battles we get for tomorrow and the battles we get for Sunday, we should have enough points to reach it. So yeah, we're pretty much good to go, because we're going to be getting 8 battles through that, and that's at least going to give us 3 Vow Ravens, if not more. And at 6,000 points per battle, that is way more than enough battles to get stuff done. Will I still be doing the Animal Crossing fishing stream? Yes, we will. Tomorrow morning. We'll be starting around 8 a.m. tomorrow, which is actually about 12 hours from now. And yeah, we'll be going pretty much the entire time. We'll be doing it with Isabel. I'm not sure if we'll be able to fit in a third person. From my fishing tournament endeavors, it seems like 2 to 3 people work the best. We're definitely initially trying it with 2 and see how it goes from there, but it might just have to be a 2 thing, but we'll see. Because there's a lot of things that can happen wrong once you start adding too many more, between the amount of time you have to deal with selling and the lag and disconnects and stuff like that. Oh, also, Isabel, I did finally find another one at a dress. I'm not sure if it's the color combination you want, though. But I can maybe give it to you for several pearls and whatever drops you don't want from the fishing tournament. We can negotiate something. I'm not sure if it's the exact color variant of it that you wanted, but I did find one of them, of the one that you liked. Also, I keep finding fishy dresses as well. I have like 3 of them, though I do have one of the one you actually want now. Anyways, as a spare. Hello, everyone. Hello, Bill. Hello, Simpleman. Hello, Queen. Hello, Cookie. Hello, Lemmy. Hello, hello, Contendo. Hello, Kuwait. Let's see. I already answered that. Was there any other questions I missed? Let's see. Oh, will you be doing time trials? Not today. I ended up mentioning a little bit, several streams ago, that we might bring this back. However, it would have to be done when we had the additional stats. So we could end up doing it around the time when there is additional stats from, the artifact. So later during like the 8th, 9th, 10th week of the event, we're gonna have much higher stats from the artifact, and this will help us win at a slightly quicker rate compared to what we normally would be able to. It seemed like it was gonna be even more prior. However, it does look like it's still gonna be a pretty hefty amount of stats compared to not having any additional stats at all. And it might actually be required to go as quickly as possible in some instances, because I know something like 5 magic, that can be the difference between Phoenicia killing and not killing when you're doing like quick kill for, let's say, a pet battle, trying to go as quick as you can. I think that might be enough in some instances to be the kill compared to not the kill. Obviously, for Explore 12, it might make a little bit less of a difference, but still a difference. So we'll probably be waiting till at least the 8th week of Artifact to kind of test things, just because we kind of need those extra stats to get the highest amount of time. And while the stats doesn't seem like it's going to be as much of an impact compared to how it potentially would have been, it does still seem like it's pretty hefty. But anyways, hello, Lemmy! Hello, Birdleaf. Hello, Sausage. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And hello, Lestat, and hello, everyone else. Okay. Let's go and clear out some dailies. Also, I did not get more codes from Salty yet. I thought she did earlier. And she mentioned that she would yesterday. And then still didn't. Let's see. Let's go switch to Phoenicia. I'm actually using Explore 12 team. I think I was showing something with it. Why else would I have been using it? Yeah, I was showing something with it earlier. Someone asked a question like how to quick kill or something. At the end of last stream. I think they were talking about how to get class XP quickly. Which, of course, is Rowan quick kill. And obviously, we haven't been running that anymore. Because I've maxed out every class. Salty is trolling me. I'm not sure what it is. Let's see. We'll take that for now. So hello, J-Dog. You're thinking of using Mang, Dragon Soul, Keeper of Souls, and Leprechaun for tower. Any suggestions you see? Or any problems you see? I guess it could be fine. Dragon Soul seems a little bit slower. But at least you've got souls. So you'd get a decent amount of gold and souls while you're going through. But no, it seems like it would work. I just don't feel like Dragon Soul is the quickest option you can do there, but it will give you passive souls. And I think that's more so what you're going for. Since it's still mana generates pretty well while giving you souls. Like, if you wanted speed there, you'd probably go for the Empower Red-Purple. The one that has the Skull Convert thingy. But souls will help out to get more resources. It'll just be ever so slightly slower than a few other alternatives. You recently unlocked Dawnbringer. Nice. Would you please be able to show you a couple of teams? Well, anything with Gorgotha plus Dawnbringer tends to be pretty good and safe. Generally, if you're using Dawnbringer, you're using it for one of two reasons. And one of them I can't really show teams for because it's constantly changing. One of them, and probably the biggest thing I would say it's actually used for currently, is Thursday class events. It is kind of like the Phoenicia of Thursday class events, and that is the highest single cast full AoE of any weapon in the game. And this makes it very good for class events, where you're very limited in what you can use. So normally Dawnbringer ends up being your strongest full AoE damage. And this ends up working out pretty well, because essentially every single kingdom has at least a yellow. So you can end up using Dawnbringer with 3 yellow troops from the kingdom and have a really hefty full AoE damage. Obviously, this exact team changes from week to week as far as whatever the class event is. And you'll notice sometimes they don't always go Dawnbringer, but it's definitely one of the better options to consider when going for the free class battles on Thursdays. Of course, this is a very situational instance, but it's pretty much the best thing for it. Other than that, the other one I can't really mention a team for is Arena. It's really good for Arena. But aside from that, anything Gorgotha Dawnbringer based tends to be pretty safe. Normally, if you're using Dawnbringer into like a real team, you're using it for its safety's sake. The other instance where it comes in a lot is Red Guild War. This more so really depends on what you have and what you're building around, but it ends up working out really good for Red Guild War, as there's almost no barrier for Reds, or even defensive troops in general, and you can end up using Dawnbringer pretty well as your defensive option to give you that needed tankiness that Reds generally naturally do not have. And that's pretty much all the instances where it gets used for. Most of the instances are really adapted because it's used mostly as a utility weapon. I guess in class events it's used as your primary damage, and arena your primary damage. But it's definitely more of a utility weapon. Like, you're using it for its barrier more often than not, as very few things do have 4 times barrier in the game. Dragonian Monk's the absolute best thing that has it, if you're looking out of sheer barrierness. But Dawnbringer's still pretty good. Also, if I'm not mistaken, Dawnbringer is the only cast in the game that actually barriers your entire team. Oh, no, I lied. Never mind. Duh, Dragonian Monk. I literally just said Dragonian Monk. But, weapon cast? But no, it's... Yeah, I guess saying weapon cast actually matters a bit more, because that does allow it to be used anywhere for the most part, since weapons, of course, can be used in a very wide range of areas. It's normally not restricted based on various restrictions, except for Guild Wars, except it covers half the colors anyway, so you're pretty much already there. But anyways, I almost feel like farming for gems, just because we're so close to 20,000. But I am going to be farming for our tokens, because those are also close. We're almost to our 5th Nisha, which we still need quite a bit, but We need more niches. If we don't go for them, we're never going to get them increasing our stack of niches. I want to check the offers real quick. Oh, we don't have anything good. Never mind. And also the flash offer is the standard kind of bad one, so no need to necessarily go for it. Anyways, let's go kill through Explore 12. Someone suggested a really fun team earlier that I do want to mention. It was actually a lot of fun. I'm not sure if I'll be using it personally, but it was a lot of fun to mess around with. It was this team. Where'd I get buried to? Definitely a fun team. What am I looking for? Where'd it go? What did I put it over top of? There it is. Orb Weaver class, I believe. Yeah, Lord or Slaughter, Great Maul, Reflection of Good, and Leprechaun. You Leprechaun immediately, Reflection of Good to protect your first slot, because it dies very quickly. And then you have Great Maul for the follow-up cleanup. You can also switch to Order if you want to make this a bit safer. However, I prefer it riskier because it goes higher damage output initially. But it ends up working out pretty well. Really quick pace. Hey! Remember when I said I pretty much never have gotten a Deathmark kill off this thing? We just got a Deathmark kill. That took forever. I'm pretty sure that's the first Deathmark we've ever gotten a kill off of him. Maybe it's not and I just didn't notice. But, I should take a green first. But gosh, it feels like he never gets a kill with Deathmark. He does have 1 to 2 Deathmarks every cast. Oh, ouch. Yeah, that's scary when he takes that much damage that quick. That's super scary. Hey, we could actually lose this. That's the only thing that's pretty risky about this team. Really, really high risk, high reward. I think it might only work for PvP. Just because of how high the risk is you actually lose. Now this battle's going to be slow, and you generally don't want to be running away from as many battles when you're doing Explore compared to when you're doing PvP. But we do have Great Maul as higher stats. We just don't have a skull spam option now. But we do have the Enrage whenever we get the thing on it, so that will allow us to hit through quite a bit. I do want to do it before we take a skull, even though we did have a skull option there. If we can even give us one again. There we go. Let's go throw that down. Okay, that's not going to be enough. Luckily, we can break barrier that way. A nice big poke. Follow-up's not even going to be enough, though. There it is. Okay, 2 more hits will do it. Let's it bust itself up again to a point where we can't hit it out. Reflect coming in. Nice little skull poke. And this will be kill if we randomly get a skull. Come on, where's our random skull? We need you. We need you, skull. Where are you? Go poke us. We'll go for this. He skulls us. No, what Reflect doing a little bit there. Gosh, this battle's going weird and slow now. We should be good to go from here, though. We grab that, we take skull, throw a Reflection here, unless it doesn't give us... no, we'll still go for it. So we'll do that to get rid of barrier. We'll take our skull. I'm actually going to move it that way to try for Sky Skull. Oh, no, but then I can't drop the mana. Well, I guess it doesn't matter. We just take that. Come on, one more skull hit. But do you have armor? Yes, you do. Well, actually, after this, it'll still be enough to kill. Or should be. So grab that. It'll poke us. And it kills itself from Reflect. There we go. Weird way to win, but I'll take it. Yeah, really risky when that thing goes down. We've had a lot of battles where you just lose your first 2 slots because they're rather flimsy before it gets going. Once you get it going, it is pretty good. I almost want to wait till we get alignment because if we miss this, we lose. Oh, well, we're doing it. Oh! That's why I said that. Really high risk, high reward. No, don't end. I'm so used to clicking yes for that option. Yeah, world events do restrict weapons list. That newer game mode does, and we're going to be having it a lot more often soon. Gosh, this team has 2 options. Instantly win or instantly lose. There is no in-between. Those are the only 2 options this team has. Very much so. This honestly reminds me of the Slayer build of Zugoff, where it is so risky that you either win instantly or die within like the first few turns. This has like that same kind of thing going on. Either auto win or death. Oh yeah, we can keep you alive, hopefully. There we go, we won. So throw that down. Oh, what am I doing? I could just take an ability. Let's hope this doesn't miss. Ah, I kind of missed. Luckily, Reflect getting in there, and then that's dead. You'd make me a small wager if I was still using your team, did you? I mostly just did it to see if it's still fun to use, and is. I'm mostly just testing around with it. I feel like it has a lot of potential. My biggest concern is with how high risk it is. Because we've already lost it, Explore with it. But when it wins, gosh, does it win. It's definitely one of those type of teams. Let's see, we'll throw that down. Auto win or auto lose. It works insanely good for PvP because of that. Because for PvP, if you lose within the first 10 seconds, it means nothing. For Explore, it means nothing as long as it's the first 4 battles. However, it means a lot if it happens during the other 2. And for other locations, you might not necessarily want to risk it. Just because you'd want a more consistent win. Let's see, we'll go for that. I'd definitely say it's a PvP option as its main option. But I wanted to test the Summon Explore since we're doing some Explore grinding. Come on, where are all of our niches at? We need 6 more for another token. Or for another medal, I mean. Yeah, I'll probably be switching back to Zoogoth after like 2 or 3 more delves. I mean, more kingdoms. Well, what order would you do? The only other order you could really do is move Leprechaun to first slot and use that as a meat shield. Because you can't move Great Maul to first. Moving Hero to first, I guess you could kind of do. But, Great Maul definitely cannot go first. It would normally die before you get Devour. It also has very low skull damage initially. And I'd rather just completely kill out Leprechaun than go for the low skull. Obviously, a Leprechaun also has low skull, but you would deliberately let the Leprechaun die, whereas you wouldn't want to deliberately let your Great Maul die before Devour. Whereas Leprechaun doing its cast immediately already gets most of its value, and then you can just destroy it. I have done that in the past using Leprechaun Meat Shield. It's literally a strategy where you cast Leprechaun, and you just let him die. Because you just use him for his initial mana, and that's all you do with him. And then you deliberately let it die as quickly as possible. Well, let me know what the actual team is. So I can just go put it in. Let's see, we'll throw that down. Oh yeah, we did end up opting for not Brownstorm. I know that affects the Scorpius team quite a bit. I never did end up changing it the other way around. Lack of Brownstorm does make it a little bit worse. I went for the Quicker Mirror instead for safety's sake. But the Brownstorm, once you get it rolling, makes it a way more consistent that you get the skull alignments, which is really important. Like in this kind of instance, the Brownstorm would be much more beneficial once you actually have it rolling. Because, yeah, we are lacking a Brownstorm option right now, which is pretty crucial to the team. And the option we have instead is Quick Mirror for the barrier. But that main reasoning behind that is for the shielding, so we can get shielding quicker. Because once he gets shielded for the first time, you normally don't have him die. I'll throw that down. Does Dervish have half-mana start? I thought it didn't. Because we still want to get the weapon up quickly, too. I think we'd have to stick with Titan. What's that Team Drock Savage? Let me know. And we'll go use it. Actually, let me just go grab the cap paste for it. Let me see. Where on earth is my live stream? I normally don't keep it open in the background just so it doesn't lag. Let me go find it. One moment. I'll just copy it directly. Let's see. Hey, an ad's playing on my thing. Let's see. What's this an ad for? We got a ad for a one wheel? Actually, we got a double ad here. What is an ad for? I'll mute it. Oh, it's that board thing. Let me leave a like on my stream. Come on, one more like. We hit 10 likes. We're almost there, people. Let me go. Oops, why am I copying this? Wrong thing. Let me go grab this. That's what I want. Copy. Alright, let's go mess with this. Put this in. There we go. We hit 10 likes. Thank you, everyone. Alright, let me go close that out. Let's see. Where's the other thing I need? Put this over here. Oh, yeah, duh. We're in a battle. I was, like, trying to paste it in. It's like, wait. There's a problem here. Okay, please don't miss. Good. Nice match. There we go. With 2 HP. That's all it needs. I can find a battle. Actually, before we do, let's go see what the team is. Let's see. Paste team. Okay, why is Great Maul in first slot? That's why I never understand. The Great Maul's gonna die before cast most of the time. And it is used with Titan because you need Brown Storm, of course. I'm not understanding the Great Maul first, though. The Titan makes sense. The Great Maul positioning I do not understand, though. I would sooner put Leprechaun in first than Great Maul. Because at that point, you might as well just use Gorgolfa. Like, if you can get it to not die within that time, I guess it could be okay. But it doesn't have the extra reduction that Lord of Slaughter has. I know, we can give it a shot. Though risking it on this battle is probably not the location we should risk it on, though. But then again, we could instantly go try Great Maul in the Infernus. Like, I don't want to try a Suicide Leprechaun version of this. Luckily, we did get the mana in time this time, so it should work out pretty well. We throw Devour, kill that out, and then he's dead, as long as we get cast here. And move that, and that should be match. And then we get the other one down. And there we go. Grab our chest, and we got all that. Yeah, Brownstorm definitely helps out a lot, though. Because it makes our alignments a lot more. I'll try it again like this. If nothing else, at least it has kind of a rush to it. The one issue Leprechaun can have is really low initial skull damage until it dies. And if we have a really high advantage on a battle, it's going to go a bit slower. Because the thing can't end up doing anything. So even though we're sacrificing potentially the Great Maul, it might not even matter. Though it will matter on battles we fall behind on. But we haven't fallen behind on a battle yet. Also, they both do about the same amount of damage. Even though it doesn't look like it. Because theoretically, what's-his-name does twice the amount, Lord of Slaughter. Since he's sitting directly onto HP. Great Maul's damage is actually initially lower, but once it gets rolling, that changes. I'm actually gonna do this to try to get it rolling first. There we go. And it actually does. And that should be... Oh, nope, we miss. Ooh, that's a big miss. Very big miss. Hey, we actually got a Death Mark kill again. Gosh, I feel like we were never getting it. Now we're just getting them left and right, all the Death Mark kills. Go, Death Mark. Okay, let me see if we have alignment. Let's grab it then, and this should be dead. Let's match. Hello, Cinnamon! Welcome. This will probably be the last one that we do with this team. Yeah, it's definitely a lot of fun. Definitely a fun build. And these were kind of battles were the ones I was worried about. Let's see, we'll take that. Because if Great Maul doesn't get an initial Devour, that ruins all the Great Maul value. Throw that down, keep a Maul alive, and that should be match. There we go. Okay, let's go finish grabbing this chest. Yeah, I've tried a couple different archer builds for Explore 12. I've been considering bringing Assassin back. Assassin's even more high risk, high reward, though. The only thing I hate about Archer or Assassin is their really high inconsistency compared to other options. Like, at least this Great Maul option, while it might be a little bit risky up front with no durability till it gets Devour, at least after it gets its Devour, it's purely consistent with its damage. Whereas things like Archer and Assassin don't have a consistency to them, which is one of the reasons you don't normally see me using them, even though they can be very effective. You can go on very long dry streaks where their ability doesn't really do anything, which ruins a lot of their value, of why you would even use them in the first place. And as much luck as you can remove from a team tends to be the better. Or, you know, luck requirements that are needed to make it work. Want to get that as low as possible normally. Where's the last of that mana? Come on, something to get full mana. There we go. And that should be match. Those are not scoring a single time on this board. There we go. Hey, Sakurax. Wait, isn't he still in Soulforge right now? Don't forget to pick him up if you still want him. I believe this is the first time he's been in Soulforge since his release. It'll be a while before he's back again. If anyone's still looking to pick him up, he's still available for 2 more days. Rest of today and the next 2 days until Monday reset time, end of Sunday basically. If you have the diamond and still want him, he's around. Not the greatest of mythics, but a good utility troop to have your hands on. Definitely not one of the first several you would get, but definitely one you would eventually want to have. I probably will only be using it ever so occasionally in Guild Wars, and if we ever get a good HP buff troop. Currently, Ketris is the best thing for that. However, it might get some really good synergy into the future. As it currently stands, it's a bit above average overall. I'm just gonna risk this. If nothing else, we already have the thing right there, and we do get it all the way. And let's just go buff this up and be good to go. Does he die to his death mark? Can we actually get a kill off of that? No. We're gonna refresh it there, which will make it so he can't even die. Whenever you refresh a death mark, I still don't understand why this is a thing. But whenever you refresh a death mark has a mechanic where the first turn that you death mark, it is impossible for it to actually die. However, if you refresh something with a death mark, that subsequent turn also makes it impossible for it to die. So you can't actually get the kill in that instance, which is very annoying. They really need to remove that. Like, the 1-turn delay is fine, because when it had a 0-turn delay, it was way too strong. But, though there are counters to it now compared to before. But, a 1-turn delay is fine. However, they need to make it so whenever you re-def mark something that's already def marked, it doesn't re-add the 1-turn delay. Currently it does. They need to remove that aspect. Otherwise, def mark's pretty much always going to be useless. Or at least a lot more useless than it could effectively be. Also, this team can actually go quicker than how I'm using it right now. I'm using a very safe version of it that goes a bit slower. What are the first 5 mythics to craft? It depends what you want to prioritize. You tend to get them based on game mode. But the main ones I would really say in the current state of the game are Iron Gut, because you need it for delves. It is single-handedly the best delve troop in the game. Fairish Ra, because you need it for soul farming. Wild Queen, because it covers 3 Guild War days very well, and it also doubles to work for PvP, if you want to use it for that. I still would say Infernus, honestly. Infernus doesn't excel at any one thing, but it is so well-rounded, and burn for 12 damage to all enemies per turn, or, 3 to all of them, 12 total. Definitely adds up to be a lot the earlier you end up getting it. Even though Infernus isn't as meta as it used to be, I would still say Infernus is one of the few first several crafts you'd want to go for. And as far as a 5th, that's pretty flexible depending on what you want to go for utility-wise. Because at that point, you covered basically all your bases. You always want to have a... I would probably say Catches the Bull overall, just so you have like a good boost ratio one, to have an alternative upscaling option. That can also work for like PvP and a couple other things. But yeah, I'd probably say those 5 currently. However, you always want to get one really good one for Delves, which currently is Iron Gut for the best. You want to get one really good one for Guild Wars, possibly a few. Wild Queen overall covers the most currently in that regard. And that's pretty much it. Those are like the 2 main locations. That and things that can farm resources, and things that can just help you out in generally. There's a lot of great utility troops too, depending on like what aspect you want. Like Obsidius, best stun in game, and stuff like that. Or you'd pick it up not necessarily to use it a lot, but for really specific instances where you would use their perk. But I would say in the current state of the game, Iron Guts, Wild Queen, and Fairish Ra are actually high 3 priority. First 5 and first 10 is quite a bit more flexible. But those 3 for first 3 are pretty required in the current state of the game. Because Iron Gut auto wins you to 500 delves. Wild Queen greatly increases your rate of winning brown, yellow, and brown, green, and purple Guild War days. And can also double for PvP as a skull spammer. And covers a lot of dooms and other stuff because of that, its wide color range. And Fairish Ra simply for soul farming. Since obviously earlier on in the game you'd have very few souls. And Fairish Ra farms them at the highest rate in the entire game. Yeah, no problem. And if anyone else has any other questions, let me know. One funny thing about what I just said, though, is I actually don't use those 3 troops that much these days. That's because Wild Queen is a really specific thing. Guild Wars is only once a month. But it's normally one of the more competitive areas within the game. It's good to have something good for it. Iron Gut, I've already finished all delves. So technically I don't need Iron Gut for delves anymore. And Fairish Ra, I have more souls than I currently know what to do with, at least at the moment. We might eventually need to farm more. As it currently stands, we have more than what we know what to do with. And while all 3 of those do help you to progress through the game, you'll notice I almost never use any of those 3. Oh, except for Wild Queen, you'll see me using it a lot during Guild Wars. But the other 2 you see me almost never using, even though they're some of the most meta things in the game. But the only reason you won't really see me using it much is I've kind of already completed the things we need to use them for. So there's not much of a need to bring them out personally for me. But they are still really, really good. And used a lot throughout the game. What are the 3 top funniest troops to use? That's a hard one to answer. I'm not sure. It depends what you define as funny. Definitely depends. I would say Doomskull spam troops in general, or some of the funness to use in the game. Not sure about funny though. Oh, also that's not the direction I wanted to take. Whoops. Quickly, still dies out. I still find using skeleton key teams pretty fun. There's a really nice pattern to it, with like Egg Thief and everything. It's only particularly viable in the current state of the game for nothing. I think it's actually become unviable for everything now. It's still okay for pet battles. It's still okay earlier on in the game because its amount of damage is pretty much the same regardless of what point you pick it up. 4 times peasants. Oh, gosh. But yeah, I would say the funnest ones to play are pretty much anything with Doomskull spam. They're not necessarily always the most viable things to use, because they can backfire pretty hard most teams that are related to it. That's why some of them have such high score reduction attached to them, like Laceon. And even with it, they can still get demolished. King Mongo is funny. Oh yeah, the, what's his name is also pretty funny. Oh, what's his name? Or is that the one you're referring to? Yeah, that one brown-yellow epic troop. That has like that really random ability. That's such a weird thing. So why did YouTube block your comment? I know for some reason, like, people actually comment stuff and I never get to see it. I'm not sure why YouTube just blocks some things sometimes. It's very strange. Let's see. Does it make sense to craft Farish Ra if you already have all kingdoms at 9 stars and above? Probably. It doesn't. It matters more so how many more souls you feel like you need. Because depending on your soul amount, once you start getting into elite levels, you're going to run through a lot of souls as well. Every max elite level requires 60,000 souls. If you're starting to get to the point where you're tokening troops with elite levels, you're going to burn through a lot of souls. Like, even if you finish all the kingdom leveling stuff, once they finally raise stars beyond 20, we're going to start seeing a lot more, what's it called? Soul sinks into the game, in the sense that if it requires you to go and medal a bunch of troops to go get the next upgrade, once we start getting beyond 20, it's definitely going to be pretty pricey. Like, every single elite level is 60,000, and if it says, hey, you need like 5 of these in order to go get your next level, that is 300,000 souls. That's per kingdom. And that can add up pretty quick. And this is for one example, could go even higher than that. We don't know exactly how it's going to be scaled or anything. But there is a really high chance elite levels, once we finally get those levels in, or, you know, the higher start kingdoms, there's a really high chance they will require a lot of elite levels. Exact amount, probably not as heftily as how many level 20s we need for going forward. But like level 21 could be something like, hey, have 4 troops medaled. And then the next one could be, hey, have 6 troops medaled, and stuff like that. And once that number starts going above 10, that's going to start getting really hard. Because then you're going to need to start getting into epics, legends, and mythics by that point in most kingdoms. Which obviously makes it quite difficult, since it is very hard to medal things above ultra rare. The first 3 rarities not too bad. Once you start getting higher than that, you're starting to talk a lot of time to get stuff medaled. To the point where we might have to farm for dozens upon dozens of hours just to get a star level at some point into the future. Like, it'll be possible to reach it, but it'll require so many upgrades that it'll take a while. Honestly, I should almost start saving some tokens. There's a possibility we will get the star increase this year. No official date or anything has really been mentioned on it. The only thing that we really know is that it will exist to some capacity, like I just mentioned. Because obviously all that's been public knowledge when they've mentioned in the past. But we still don't know like an approximate date yet. I would kind of hope it'd be by the end of this year. We'd kind of know a little bit by this next patch. Because this next patch, once people data mine what all the upcoming events are, we're going to kind of know a little bit more info on when we're potentially getting our first level 20 kingdoms. And once level 20 kingdoms start running in, there's a good chance they'll be raising it to a 30 soon after. Because obviously, once kingdoms start getting towards 20, and they don't have any ways to go any higher with it, well, they need to make it go higher eventually. So that's a good sign that very soon, TM, it could happen once we start seeing our first 20s. We currently have 0 20 kingdoms. Not a single kingdom can currently be 20'd. There are like 2 or 3 that are 19 right now, and like 5, 6 total if you count 18 and 19. But none of them have actually reached 20 yet. And obviously they can't go above 20 currently, though they will eventually, just because it doesn't exist yet. You can actually run out of souls with 10 million. You can actually run out of souls with 50 million souls. Once you start doing like ultra medaling, like if you're just doing medals, and nothing but trying to get medals, you can eventually run out of souls with pretty much any number. Because I currently have, actually we could tell the exact number we have. I currently have this many done. I'll go tell you. View all achievements. Quick show all, so it shows me the full breakdown of how many I have upgraded. So I currently have, not what I wanted, never mind. It was the other way around, so go back. I currently have 53, though I could technically do a little bit more, but let's just use the 53 number. So we take 53 and minus it from the total within the game. So we've upgraded 53 completely, and there are 851 in the entire game. So let's go get out a calculator. So we take out 851 minus 53 and times this by 60,000, which means I still have to spend 47,880,000 gold souls. That is almost 50 million souls. That number is not 50 million. That's only enough to cover part of it. I would still need 40 million more souls. Obviously, realistically, we're never going to have them all medaled. However, theoretically, throughout the history of this game, I will need over 40 million more souls. So we're not done with soul farming. We're done with soul farming in the sense that it would take forever for us to actually use up this pile, because obviously getting everything token takes an absurd amount of time, and we're not getting anywhere near anytime soon. However, theoretically, I do need 40 million more souls. So even if you have a lot of souls right now, you probably need more than you really think, even though you might not use it immediately. But in the long term, you actually do need more with how the game's set up with elite levels. Because the minimum souls you spend, that's assuming you're going for 100% upgrade rate, is like 50 million total. And I would have 40 million more souls I would need to get. And that number goes up by week. Every single new troop that's added to the game is theoretically an additional 60,000 soul sink. Well, almost 50,000, because you need a level, and then the 60,000 required for elite level. Yeah, I do want to get that achievement soon. We should hopefully be able to get it within the next month or two. I haven't really focused it because we were doing a lot of class stuff. So for the longest time, I wasn't really getting as many tokens. But now, obviously, we've been still grinding it here and there to try to get more tokens. But, yeah, I definitely need to go get it at some point. It's the only achievement I don't have. I'm not sure if we're getting any ultra hard ones next patch. But, just kind of have to wait and see. I don't think we would. I think they mentioned we're getting 3 new achievements. And normally, if we're getting anything more than like 1 or 2, that means they're probably going to be pretty easy. But again, that's not always the case. Didn't we actually get the super hard one with 3? So maybe that's not the case. Oh, nice. Congratulations, Jefferson. That's a lot of upgrades. I'm nowhere near that far. Be a while before I have a mythic maxed. Yeah, I've started shifting to that. You have to keep in mind, we've only started Nisha farming this year for the last, like, 2 weeks. For most of this year, I've just been class farming, not Nisha farming. So that's one of the reasons why we might seem a little bit behind. Because a lot of this year I have not actually dedicated to Nisha farming. But I think compared to the average player, we are ahead of the curve. But compared to the person that plays a lot of Gems of War, we are definitely behind. Even someone who just plays for probably 3 hours a day, if they use most of that 3 hours for Nisha grinding, we'd be behind them by quite a bit. It's because a lot of my time lately has gone to class upgrading, which we're obviously finally done with, and have been for a couple weeks. But most of this year has gone to that. And it's finally done, so we don't need to worry about classes ever again. Unless they do something else with classes and some updates. The most recent class update we ever got almost 2 years ago was a lot of fun. It was well, added all those perks and everything. It was probably the best changes we've ever had to classes. So it'll be interesting to see what the next class rework is, to see if it's anywhere near as good. Probably not. It's kind of hard to top, in all fairness, the previous update they did on it. It was the one that added the whole skill tree system thing. And while the skill tree could still use some improvements, it was definitely a fun way to revamp hero classes. And it really refreshed them really well, and actually made them viable. Prior to that, hero classes weren't really used that much. But after that, they became meta for, like, everything. Like, it was more common that you would use a hero class than wouldn't. Whereas prior to that point, it was very common that you would see battles with 0 hero classes. And then after that point, you basically did a full 180. And you basically never saw a team without a hero class. Whereas before, you would almost never see a team with a hero class. So I definitely did really good at making them viable. Some instances maybe too viable. That's kind of the point, so that you would actually use your hero in every battle. Because that's how they were supposed to be initially. But then additions to the game kind of made them fall behind. And then when they added all that skill tree and everything, it made hero classes catch back up again. To the point that they're using almost every team in the game. Because at least one hero class with some kind of weapon synergy is normally meta for something. Just because it has such a wide range of usability. Like right now we're using it for its score reduction and its triple damage on burning, primarily. Something that a normal troop wouldn't be able to do. We're nerfs to 20%. Where are you hiding? Where are you hiding? I know those 3 are there. It's not the 3 I want. There it is, Adana. That'd be annoying if we were doing spell. Luckily, we're not using spells. This actually has the second highest amount of spell reduction in the game of any kingdom. Absolute highest is White Helm. Yeah, I'm happy if I get 1 Nisha token a day. If I get 1 Nisha a day, I'm happy, to be honest. Honestly, if I get 1 Anu a day, I'm normally happy as well. I think we got an Anu earlier. We didn't get a Nisha yet today, though. But one can hope. That's not enough damage. Never mind, I lied. Actually is enough damage. I keep forgetting how many additional pokes it has from the affixes. And then Zugov kills it. Imagine gold medaling Amnesia just to get +1 magic. There's a lot of useless things you could do it into. Tesla gains no benefit at all from being fully medaled. She gains magic, so it does nothing. Even though she's a good troop, medaling her does nothing. Unless you just want to flex so you have enough to waste your medals on a Tesla. To give her that little cosmetic gold border, which is literally just cosmetic because it doesn't even give her any benefit. Since she doesn't use magic. There's a lot of useless troops you can medal into. And by the time I even have enough to medal my first mythic, the meta might be completely different than now. I'm even hesitant to even put it into Phoenicia. Because it only takes one troop being released for Phoenicia to become irrelevant. She might be super meta right now. But it just takes one mythic being better than her for her to never be used again. Where some things would have a little bit more of a higher consistency through time. Where even if something was added that was better than them, they would still maintain their value. Because they would still have some kind of utility purpose. This will probably be the last one we go for. Come on, where's our Nisha? Let's go grab the Nisha from the chest. Grab our triple Nisha. Be on our way. If anyone else has any other questions, do let me know. Our next Gems of War stream will be same time as always, as we stream every single night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here on the YouTube channel. And our next stream, however, will be tomorrow morning in about 11 hours from now. We'll be starting at around 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time in the morning for Animal Crossing. Got the fishing tournament thing. So we'll be doing a lot of fishing. There's actually several specific things I want to hunt for too while we're doing the fishing tournament, which we could passively do as we're hunting the tournament. So that'll work out quite perfectly. Actually, Isabel, I might tell you to save a couple of them too. So that you can make models out of them and I could buy the models off of you. Because I'm pretty sure you don't currently use your CJ and Flick. They actually made a revamp in the most recent patch of Animal Crossing that makes them a lot more consistent. Now, instead of having 3 of the NPCs that kind of appear in your town hall showing up so much, they made it so it constantly goes on a 2-week cycle. So they kind of almost have it like Gems of War Mythics, where you have to cycle through all of them before another one will ever appear. So there's basically 10 NPCs now, or was it 9, that can end up appearing, and they go in a certain rotation that will make it so basically every 2 weeks you'll see every single one once, which is much better than before, because before, under the previous format, you could theoretically go an entire month without seeing a specific NPC, but now they made it so you will never go more than 2 weeks without seeing one. Still haven't seen Gullivar yet, though. The new Gullivar. Gullivar. He has all the cool pirate items. Let's see. What do we go for here? Let's go for that for now. Though he's guaranteed to pair at some point soon. Wait, you found a Gullivar? Nice. What did he give you? Why do you feel really cool drops? I think his most sought after items are the chest, the cannon, and probably a couple of his clothing pieces that look cooler. I'm not even sure what his full clothing line is. Obviously it's pirate themed. Throw that down. Yeah, I'm hoping for the cannon. Out of everything, that's probably the one I want the most of. And by most, I mean several of them as well. Let's see. We'll throw that down for now. And there we go. What troops would you use in Bounty this weekend? Oh yeah, I mentioned the team earlier. Let me go re-mention it again before we head out. But it's, well actually, I already know what it is. It's Warwolf. The order is Warwolf, Tigraki Warrior, Excavator, and Parrot. You have to use Parrot because it's a Bounty Captain. But that team in that order is what you would use. And Sausage mentioned a different team. But that one that he mentioned could also work. But yeah, I personally used Warwolf, Tigraki, excavator, parrot. It also covers every color, which is nice. Oh, I didn't mean to use Zugoff there. I thought it was casting Flamer. Whoops. And there we go. Let's go to this final battle then. What will give us... It's the only thing I hate about Sigil events. You can't even check what your team is after the event is over. So you can't go to like copy paste or look at it or revamp it or something. Once you're out of sigils, you actually can't even look at your team until you have more sigils again. It's kind of annoying. I wonder if they'll ever change it so you can. It should let you, and just when you click on the battle button, just be like, hey, you're out of sigils. You can't do that. But it doesn't even let you go into the battle screen. Okay, one more, we'll do it. Actually... Yeah, let's go for full mana at this point. And it's dead. Okay, what's in our lucky chest? Nisha? Double Nisha? Triple Nisha? Quad Nisha? That's literally impossible. Ah, no Nishas. We only got a... Come on, we didn't even get 3 tokens. Aw, that's a pitiful final chest. Well, at least we got an Anu earlier, but no Nisha today. It's one of those days. Now we're still making progress. What's our Anu and Nisha count? We're at 3 full medals. Actually 4, because I believe that doesn't count the other one. So we're at 4 Anu medals and 2 badges. So we're 3 more away from that. And on this, we need 6 more tokens to have our full medal. So we're almost halfway there. Technically, 4.5 badges is halfway there to 9. Because we need 9 to be able to make our first mythic upgrade. So we're almost halfway to getting our first mythic maxed. So we're getting there. Gosh, that's weird to say. Because we haven't even done a single one, let alone multiple. No, Salty never gave me codes. I mentioned that earlier thinking that she did, but she didn't. She said that she would today, yesterday, and then never did. I thought she gave me codes because I was looking at the previous codes that she sent me, but I didn't realize that they were the previous codes and not the new codes. I just assumed they were the new codes, but they were actually the previous batch. But yeah, she said she would give it to me today, yesterday. And it's already tomorrow for sure, but in Australia time by now. So hopefully tomorrow she'll do it. Maybe today meant tomorrow, I'm not sure. But it's been almost a whole month, actually. It's almost been 4 weeks. I think it's been 21 days, 22, 23, somewhere around there. We're getting close to the month mark. Just still hasn't gotten us codes. I didn't run out until like a week and a half ago, though. Or whenever it was. Let's see. Don't count your Nisha. You'll be disheartened. Yeah, I know. It takes forever to farm them. Hey, Vangor! Glad you could join us. You haven't been around much. Hope you've been doing very, very well. A 5.0 pay-to-win patch is coming. I forget if you still play the game or not. Trump 2020. Oh, no. Both options are awful. Well, people will have their preferences. Anyways, any other questions before we head out? Let me know. Let me know. But yeah, once we have codes again, I will be handing out codes, but Salty still didn't... I'll go check again, but Salty still didn't give me more yet. Nope, Salty still hasn't given me more yet. Come on, Salty! Please! They're voting for Kanye. Oh gosh, Kanye. No. Politics just seems like a joke these days. I can't believe Kanye said he's running. He's not actually running. It's almost like impossible for him to like actually run unless everyone just writes in his name. Like that's the only realistic way he can run is if he does a write-in campaign. Which, has a president actually ever won with a write-in campaign? I think there was only ever one, and I completely forget who it was. But, yeah, he that's like the only realistic way. Because I don't think he's going to be able to get in the ballot for already like 8 states already. And the deadline for so many other ones are already heading up. So unless he somehow gets enough write-ins to bypass like literally everyone else, which is very unlikely, it could happen. but it is exceedingly unlikely. But there are still technically 4 candidates, because the Libertarian Party is going to have it's like some kind of JJ name. It's like Jarrett. I forget her name, but some female with a J name. I keep forgetting her name. She's running Libertarian, and gosh, what was the Green Party candidate's name? Howie Hawkins, I believe his name was. Howie Hawkins is running for Green Party. I'm probably not voting or voting Green. Probably just not voting. Because realistically, neither third-party candidate will win. John Jameson? No. Her name is, let me go find her name. To be fair to all the candidates, let me go mention her name. What on earth is her name? Let me see. What on earth is her name? I will get it in a second. I will find it. Gosh, what's her name? Jo Jorgensen is her name. Or Jorgensen? Yeah, she's running for Libertarian Party. Not a huge fan of her, but she's running. Yeah, she's running for Libertarian Party. She already won. The Green Party candidate hasn't technically won, but he's gonna win at this point. Like, he's basically the presumptive nominee at this point. Theoretically, I don't even think Joe Biden run the Democratic primary yet, in the sense that he has a plurality, but they still never had the convention yet, did they? Mostly because of coronavirus. So I don't think it's 100% official yet, but obviously he's going to be the nominee. Yeah, I voted for Bernie in the primary in 2016. And I was for Andrew Yang this time around, but he didn't end up making it through. Let's see. If you don't vote, don't complain. Well, the choices are bad. I voted in the primary, and then everyone who I keep wanting in the primary keeps losing. And then the general is just a bunch of people I would never vote for normally. Or the third-party candidates that realistically have, like, no chance of winning. Because they'll poll at, like, 3 to, like, 5%. And I think they need at least, like, 5% to even make it on the debate stage thing. And even then, the two-party system tries to keep all third parties off of it. So that'll just be Trump versus Biden. But anyways, anyone else have any other questions? Not politics-related. Otherwise, we'll be back tomorrow, same time as always, 1 hour prior to now, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we'll be doing Animal Crossing in the morning throughout the day, doing the fishing tourney. Let me know. You normally vote Libertarian, but you're going to vote Trump to trigger people. That's an interesting way to vote. Biden and Trump should wrestle to the death for the presidency. That would make for good television if Trump wants good ratings. That would be pretty... I'm actually really curious to see how the debates go. Like, that first debate's going to be historically funny. Honestly, I think Trump will obliterate Joe Biden. I'm not a fan of either of them. But if there was one person who's going to win debates, it's probably going to be Trump. But we'll see how it goes. Actually, when is the first debate? Unless they cancel it. Let me double check. First presidential debates. First presidential debate 2020. Do we have a date yet? Debate schedule. Please don't be a billion long article. Just tell me what I want. Gosh. Oh, September. Do you have a September 29th? That's forever from now. Why is it so far away? That's like 2.5 months from now. Why don't they have one earlier than that? But yeah, September 29th, unless they change the date, is the first presidential debate between Joe Biden, Trump, and hopefully the two third-party candidates. Though there's a good chance they will deliberately be left off of the debate stage. The debates are held in a black hole. Anyways, guys, I'll catch you guys later. Best of luck with everything. Stay safe out there, and have a wonderful weekend. Goodbye, everyone, and thanks for watching.